Because he's a guitar player. You can do that when you're a guitar player.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Poison had kicked Richie Kotzen off the tour bus because he was banging
the drummer's wife or fiance, yeah.
So they kicked him off the bus. Well, you know the consequences that happens when you bang your drummers.
Well, it can definitely affect your business dealings in the future. So we should probably start the show.
Yeah, we should start. So,
Although we already
there's
have. We started a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to do this slate thing because this is the Riffs and Rhythms ongoing podcast. I'm Kevin McLoughlin, and this is
Paul Robertson, and you just missed a whole lot of great Patreon material here that you're going to go check out, and we had a good conversation there.
Do I have to do the thing so you can edit it
No,
easier?
you don't have to do the thing.
Okay,
yeah.
good. There you go. So, what's happening, y'all?
Man, I'm having a great time, man.
We got Bobby and Jim here. This is great.
Right.
We've been having a good time. You've missed a lot of fun, but there's more to be had.
Yeah, you should be here, but you're not. But you're watching. At least that counts for something.
Yeah. You can't be here. We wouldn't let you in.
Yeah.
We wouldn't let you in even if you came. So you have to watch.
We've got a little bit of an audience tonight, actually.
We do. We do
Yeah,
have. We
that's
have
right.
our
Yeah, that's
audience.
right. That's right. We have our Marge
We have our Marge.
and the other guy.
Still there. And Devin's in the audience
Yeah.
today.
And Devin is here without a mic this time, actually.
Yeah. That's why he's got to talk louder. He's figuring out how to sound effect.
Devin, our very own ghost on the aux.
There you go. He's got to give himself
He's our
his own little.
technician.
Yeah. Is he actually, Devin? Is he actually your like chauffeur? Do you want to call him your chauffeur?
No.
No. Oh.
Chauffeur.
Yeah.
No,
is
he's
he
kind
your-
enough to give him a ride because
yeah.
his truck is on the blink.
So
He's
yes.
a friend of my podcast, though.
Okay.
Ghost on the Aux.
Okay.
Okay.
A friend of the Ghost on the Aux is here.
So yeah. So support the Patreon page so we can buy Kevin or Devin a new car here. So yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that? Donate your junk car too, Devin. So yeah, so all right, we're back here with the guys.
That's right.
Cha-ching.
The production value of this show is really off the charts. I just want to.
Well, hey, nothing. We knew who our guests were this week, so nothing but the
pulled out
best.
all
Nothing but the
stops.
best, right,
We
man?
did.
I'm gonna tell all my friends to come on this show.
We
Both
pulled,
of 'em.
Yeah, we pulled out all
We
the
had
stops.
high expectations.
No, and you know what? No sarcasm. All kidding aside, which almost never happens with me. But we are lucky to have Devin on the show because Devin, you have truly elevated the production quality of the show from 0 to like even better than that. So thank you
Better
so
than
much.
0?
Yeah.
So at least one.
Yeah, you got it. No, seriously, it's great.
At least one.
You got a keyboard that it lights up and everything, so you know it's got to be good.
That wasn't mine.
Oh well,
He's
now
still-
we know it's not even his
Got one
keyboard.
sound effect.
he's still bitching about his desk though. Actually, you know.
Well, no wonder. Look at that thing. Your son went to college and you took it out of your kid's bedroom instead of putting it in the garbage.
By the way, he'll be back in May, so I have to take it back to the house. So he'll be without it.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
No, we got way better things to talk about. You guys have another thing coming up that you were going to mention at the end of the show last week, and you didn't. So we want to hear all about what else you've got going on.
Yeah.
I got another project called Pain Ward that we're trying to get together. I've got all new songs, a little different from the Satan's Taint stuff. I mean, that was kind of fun to do, but we're going to try and take this one to the next level. It's even more riffs, which he's usually pissed about. It's all guitar riffs.
A lot of riffs.
As
lot
they
of
should
riffs.
be.
But no,
He's
it's
better
really
at
good.
keeping the same time signature at least. Before it was like
Yeah,
we were
I
all
was
over the place.
There's a lot of different tempos on some of that stuff, but yeah, we're kind of like straightforward, a little faster. I'm just trying to get a couple of other members. We need bass player. Trying to find local guys, but it's pretty hard. Everyone's in a bunch of bands.
So you
So
talk.
Yeah.
So you talked.
It's hard.
Bobby, you talked last week about some of the other potential that you were during that time frame, the early '80s, with Metallica, Megadeth, etc. Jason Newsted lives locally here.
Yeah, he actually he jammed with Patrick, and there's a I've seen him. I've seen his art. He did an art thing, and then I've seen him play behind that Italian restaurant.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was at that with him. But yeah, he's talking about putting another band together. He's always been kind of
he's
ebbs and flows, I guess. But
under the radar, right?
Listen,
Yeah.
I'll put it out here, Jason. If you're watching, you want a band, give Bobby a call.
Oh, bye.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go. Easy peasy.
Yeah, and come on the podcast too.
Come on
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah, he should come on the podcast.
Riffs for days. Jigga jun 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 jigga jun jun. Wait. No problem. All those 200 beats have been announced. Jigga jun jun jigga jun jun. Wait. So it's a little faster, yeah.
Yeah, we can get a bass. It'd be nice to have someone with a name. It's not in 20 different bands. And
Yeah.
I've got a singer up in New York that I produced an album for like years ago that I'm going to ask him to try and see if he could lay some stuff down. But yeah, it's just easier to have everyone in one spot. Yeah,
Right.
It really is. There's a big difference when you're sitting in the same room eye to eye, putting tracks down, and sending it
Old
off.
school.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pain in the ass with Violence. I was all those guys were from the Bay Area, and I was from down here, so I had to fly every time we had to do something.
Oh,
Fly
wow.
to California. Yeah, so you're talking like through the pandemic, like 13-hour days. Two separate flights with the mask on the whole time, and it kind of wore itself thin. So after that, I was like, let's get local guys.
All right.
So the search is still on.
So you need someone who's got a lot of notoriety, can play really well, but has nothing to do.
Exactly.
So you need a bass player with a massive drug problem.
Why is there one without one?
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe not.
Yeah, I haven't met him yet.
Well, now we know.
But
drug solution.
yeah,
Oh, it's a drug solution. That's the only reason why they have a drug problem is because they haven't played with you yet.
that's true.
Was Dave the Beast Spitz, right? Is he local?
He's local, yeah.
He's semi-local.
He's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
he's a lawyer, I think.
He is definitely a lawyer, yeah.
Is he? Okay. Yeah. Because I know he joined Angels of War, right?
Yeah, he was from them.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how much he wants to play. Every time I see him, he tells me he's got something going on. So
Right.
I haven't harassed him about it yet. But listen, I love Beast. He's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kevin and Kevin were on the show, and they talked about like how he's brought a different whole thing to Angels of War, right? Very structured and very like elevated their whole sound and in game and so forth. So yeah. So all right, yeah. Do you know
Did
anybody?
Beast make Kevin get rid of the iPad? Just kidding. I know he's sensitive about his iPad.
That's hard.
No, I don't know. He didn't.
I
don't
saw
remember that.
and some promo for a show. I guess they've got a show somewhere in April.
Angels of War?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
No, not Angels of War. Their copy
Oh,
band.
a
project.
Dirty Face Kid?
The Dirty Face Kid. Yeah.
Yeah. They're out there. They're like out there at least twice a weekend almost. They're out
Yeah,
there.
listen, Joe keeps them in line.
Yeah.
Keeping them playing.
Keeps him busy. I don't know how Joe finds time because he's done running sound.
Where he's mixing bands and he's playing in bands. Yeah, he's booking bands. Yeah, good for him.
He's keeping busy.
Yep.
So that's a good.
You gotta do something.
For sure. Yeah. So no, that's a good band though. So back, Bob, there's I should have asked you from the beginning. Is it Bob or Bobby?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Fine.
So we should call you Doesn't Matter.
Doesn't matter.
All right, cool.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Doesn't
It
Matter.
doesn't matter.
But
So
Yeah.
you were talking about flying back and forth, and so I know you probably have got a lot of opinion and thoughts about, like what it was.
me? No.
Just
I don't know. It's like,
I can sense some sarcasm there.
I'm going through a tunnel. Breaking up.
the cell towers.
Oh, now I'm just noticing this. This kicks ass. This is album art, but really big.
Yep.
What about the size?
It's actually
the size of an album. Though?
It's actually T-shirt art.
Oh yeah, it's
also.
actually the size of an
Yes,
album.
we
Okay.
have that on a
Yeah, it's
T-shirt.
flat.
Okay.
CD art, but big like an album.
That's
Yeah.
a big.
That makes more sense.
It's an
I
album.
mean, there's nothing more metal than that. It's got a shield. It's got
Swords.
2 axes.
Yeah, but you know what? The
Blood.
only thing that's a little bit non-metal is you can actually read the letters.
You could read it.
You can actually read the letters.
Yeah.
Like most really deep metal bands, like they've got
And
logos.
you know, if you flip it
can't
upside
read
down, it says Satan's Stain upside down. I'm totally joking, dude. That's not it. That's not it. But you did it.
We'll walk right into that.
Drummer.
No, it says it that way though. If it
That's
says
what you get for your drummer jokes, buddy, Buster, pal.
no, if you
Yeah,
turn
those-
it, look,
Yeah.
you're right. If you turn it upside down, it still says Satan's
There you
Stain.
go. Oh, nice.
Clever.
Well, he's just saying that you couldn't read it,
You
but
can
yeah,
read-
if
you
you
can read
don't
them.
have your, if
You
don't
can
have your-
actually read it.
The font.
Because
Yeah,
like
well,
you're wearing
well-
a shirt, like I can't read that.
Yeah, exactly. So those ones that look like a tumbleweed, when you put them smaller, now everything is on a phone. You ever see that when you've got multiple bands at a concert,
Like glasses
Yes.
you can't read it.
Those they look like somebody
Tumbleweed.
sneezed on the poster.
Exactly. So you're trying to promote your band, but you've got it so distorted and
Right.
twisted up that the average person can't read the name of your band. So how are we going to go to YouTube and check you out?
Yeah, branding
So-
matters.
Yeah, so Satan's Stain's pretty basic.
That's a great
other-
metal logo.
Other than the sword.
Yeah.
You know, that was in the whole Viking thing.
Very
which I really
Celtic.
like.
I love it.
But the Pain Ward, the shirt that I had on last week,
Yeah.
it's pretty much just block letters. And
Yeah.
when you shrink it down onto someone's phone, you're going to be able to read it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I have listened to a lot of great metal bands, and I couldn't find them because their logo looks like somebody sneezed.
A lot of times I have to ask someone who understands or knew what the logo was, like, what's the name of this band? Because I want to check it out. I couldn't make them out
Yeah.
a lot of the times.
Siri.
Which lesson for you metal band
Yeah,
fledglings?
don't follow what everyone else
Have
is
a
doing.
readable logo.
Yeah.
Make it
Be
clear.
super metal. Make your logos in Braille.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the blind metal fans can find you.
So speaking of Braille,
Cross on the street.
Oh,
Oh,
Which
that's
is
a
to-
new genre, blind metal.
blind
Yeah.
metal.
Can we do a Braille transcript for the podcast?
why these bums are pretty large.
Yeah, but we're gonna do it with the
I
old
want my bumps to
fashioned.
be the biggest bumps on the page.
We're gonna do it on. We're gonna do it on your arm with those old fashioned TB testers.
Have these other bumps removed.
So it wasn't the. I was going with the other part was. Did you ever see The Sound of Metal movie? It was a movie about a metal drummer, and he started losing his.
I
hearing.
did see that. Yeah, he started losing his hearing.
Yeah. Oh man, it was such a bummer.
Yeah.
That was such a
super depressing.
yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
fuck this movie.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
unique.
Fuck the drums.
Yeah.
Until the next day when I was like, I gotta play drums. I gotta make some money. So
And someday I may end up at this camp here with all these other deaf people.
right, yeah.
Yeah. What?
So I've
Yeah.
done something
Symbols.
recently. I've done something recently.
About time.
My drummer, he, although he's great,
He doesn't watch this podcast, so you can talk
his
about him.
ears are completely shot, and he actually hates it when he can hear the band, and so he wonders why we have timing problems. And we have timing problems because the guitar player rushes the songs and blames it on the drummer. But
You're supposed to follow somebody. You know that, right? Even though it's the name of your band.
now if I follow him, we'll be going even faster. But so what I've done is I bought a gift for my drummer of an in-ear monitor system. So that he can get the app and control his own monitors. And even if he wants nothing in there, he can just block out the sound of the band and be happy hearing nothing.
That's good.
Or he can put whatever he wants to hear in his own monitors.
All drummers should be on ears. It's the wedges.
Well, the wedge the wedge he's got, it just makes it worse because it sounds terrible.
Yeah, I don't
So I'm like, no.
put off a wedge for a million years.
So I got him the in-ear monitor mix, and it's great.
Good.
Did he use at the Big Blues Blast?
He did not use it at a Big Blues Blast, but he used it at the Kevin McLoughlin Band family party, which you guys are invited to. It's on Sunday
Can be food?
at There'll be food. Yes.
At Terra Firmata?
At Terra
Oh, why
Firmata.
you say it's Terra Firmata? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Starts at 4:00.
Is Al going to be there?
He's been invited.
Okay.
Jim may
We'll
come up
see.
and play drums with you, maybe?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
it's-
but
it's-
the
it's a
tempo
jam.
is whatever I say it is. There's a saying in my neighborhood that says the drummer's always right. So
Well, if
just
the
saying.
tempo ends as the same thing you started at, I don't care what you say it is.
that's definitely not going to happen.
Oh, well. Which brings me to my favorite drummer joke. How do you tell when a drummer's knocking at the door?
Speeds up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. He's
You
heard
never
of all
heard that
that.
one.
So real quick though is if we're going jump, I'm going to jump back to something about the Guitar Slingers event that you've done in the past.
Okay.
So would get Bobby in on that?
We need to do a metal Guitar Slingers.
What is it? What is it?
Well, so the whole concept between with the Guitar Slinger shootout is you saw Crossroads, like the whole head cutting session, trying to take
So you have to compete against the Karate Kid.
like an equal build 2-band
He's
show,
old now.
and add some gladiator aspect to it. And the way that we did it was the first band played, and the guitar player from the second band did the finale with the first band, and it was a head cutting session. And then same thing again, the second band played, and the guitar player from the first band sat in with the second band and did a head cutting session, and all the audience voted on who was the better guitar player. And it went over really, really well.
Well, that's not going to be fair to the other guitar player.
Well, exactly. So,
Are we
it's just like wrestling.
right.
It's totally real.
He's got to show up in the disguise.
are we hitting each other with the guitar?
In a disguise.
Well,
Gladiator style?
it's
You have to be dressed up so no one knows who you are.
You
Yeah.
and
You
the
get
other
sharp
guitar
V.
player, you work it out in any way you want. If you want to pin
Do I
him
get a
down with a
shield?
flying V across the neck,
Yeah.
do it.
Loincloths are optional.
I'm in.
No, that's the whole thing about it is the competition aspect of it is it's not really a competition. Like we're just having fun, but we play it up as a competition because it's way more fun to do it that way. And so I want to do a blues version of it. I want to do a metal version of it. We're gonna expand
Is this
the whole
online
concept.
somewhere to look for people to look at?
Well, I've done 2, and it was the Kevin McLoughlin band and the Jake Walden band. And the first one went over so well, we did another one. And I've kind of abandoned.
Who were the other bands?
No other bands.
Oh, just you two. Okay.
Yeah, just us. And it went over really well. So I'm thinking that it would go over well in a whole lot of different genres.
Cool.
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
We'll play anywhere.
So the Guitar Slinger Shootout, metal edition. Who would you want to face off with?
Is another local person?
Anyone we could afford to pay.
Someone of lesser talent. Just make it easy.
I mean, it's Terra Firmata, so it's got to fit the.
I'll do it, but the other drummer's got to have like one arm tied behind his back.
Oh, we could do we could do a drum slingers.
Fuck yeah. But the other drummer's got to be blindfolded and deaf. Drum kit has to be upside down.
And one arm.
Wait,
Yeah, one arm.
Jim. All right, hold on. Since you just talked about like one arm tied behind your back there, so when you guys do the Def Leppard version
Yeah.
of the metal, how you
No,
play?
I do pre-accident Rick Allen.
There you go. Yeah, because that would be a little bit self-deprecating.
Yeah,
So no songs, afterwards.
I do the
Although it would be
songs, I just
pretty
pretend so.
spectacular if it took a fake
Yeah.
arm and a bottle of ketchup. That'd be awesome.
Oh,
It's a little bit like the Wasp show.
yeah. Meat.
Yeah, there you go.
Raw meat. Yeah.
So this could be, that definitely could be
Well,
something.
it can
here.
certainly be
Yeah.
expanded.
Yeah.
I've got tons of time to work on it.
Yeah. Well,
That's why we haven't gotten it done.
Yeah. What are you going to do in the airplane while you're, up in the air?
Hopefully, I'll be asleep. It's an overnight flight. I'm flying out on the night of the 14th, landing on the afternoon of the 15th, and I'm playing the night of the 15th.
Do they have
the
enough-
night of the 16th?
Is there enough Jack Daniels on the plane? Do you think for you?
No, there's no way they have enough.
You're playing the same night you arrive.
I arrived that morning, and I'm playing that night. So hopefully, I'll be sleeping on the flight.
So you're flying back in time.
We're flying MCO to Heathrow, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
We leave at night and we arrive in the morning.
When I go over there, the first day is always a wash because jet lag. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're-
but I'm going to be so amped up. I'm going to be.
all right.
I don't care. I'm going to be amped up.
Okay.
That's
Look,
how
kids,
it is.
Drugs.
Big Ben Parliament. And drugs.
Yeah. And if you live in England, hook me up because apparently I'm going to have a lot of trouble.
Go.
Right, Tracy?
Now she's like, no. But whatever it takes.
It would be wicked rock and roll to get deported halfway through your tour because you're like a fucking menace to the British
That
countryside.
definitely that'd actually get you some good notoriety for sure.
Kevin McLoughlin. I see the T-shirt, Kevin McLoughlin, and you could have like Union Jack, and across will say band, like not band, like band, double meaning. Yo,
That would be awesome.
I get royalties, right? I want royalties on that shit. At least send me a shirt. I'm gonna cut the sleeves off.
I am
of it.
going to get my ass kicked out of England.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just like Jerry Lee Lewis. Don't do the same reasons he did.
Yeah,
But
don't bang a 16-year-old.
he's banging his cousin.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
There you go. If you're Jerry Lee Lewis fans out there.
No.
too soon.
Well, as long as I'm not related to them.
Yeah, but you can go Irish all over those, those Brits.
Yeah.
Well, all of my ancestors are Irish, and they're all rolling around in their grave because I'm going to England first. Never
yeah.
been to Ireland, so we'll see how that works.
There you go. Here's your merch.
supposed to do that.
Exactly. But I'm so lucky. It's really cool. It's part of my master plan, and as soon as I know what that master plan is, I will tell you. But I'm gonna get to tour the UK, and that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's cool.
That's the depth of my
cool.
master plan.
Oh boy.
So we're not talking about me. What else we got going on?
Yeah, we got. Yeah, let's. Do we want to jump into our song review here?
Well, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, again, I think this is fitting. This song that we're going to review here is a Florida-based band, right?
Yeah, for some reason, this band's name has come up today, like over and over.
This is definitely where Alexa, Siri, and everyone is listening because it's all popping up in our feeds and things like that.
That's true.
So forth. So,
Our subservient AI robot phones are
yeah.
serving us up the kind of things that we're talking about.
So this band has been around for, what are we thinking here? About 30 plus years?
At least 30.
right?
At least 30.
Yeah. So they're a Florida band, right? And there was a lot of, notoriety in the early 90s, I guess, Have you ever seen them perform before?
No.
No?
I have years ago.
Okay. Is this possibly on, if that far back, and here's a way back, right? Where I feel like there was I'm sure they toured at the same, and they're on a similar bill, Marilyn Manson, the Spooky Kids, and Jenna Tortures.
Could have been, yeah.
Probably.
It sounds like it
say
probably.
At the Button South.
The Button South or Metal Factory. One was gone. One of those down there. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, the song we're going to review here is the Jenna Tortures. They are still doing it here. There's a song here called.
Back in the day when there was such a thing as the Rag magazine,
Oh my God!
they were in that nearly every month.
Yeah.
Listen, before I hear a note of this, I'm already going to say I loved it because of this. Is this an album cover or whatever is happening?
This is the graphic for the single, I
with
believe.
this young lady in leather. Is that a gun over her shoulder?
sawed-off shotgun
and tattoos
over her shoulder,
and leather
tattoos,
and
yeah.
hair everywhere. And yeah, it's already an A+. How do you rate this shit? What do you guys rate it? Like,
So we done already? We
It's
haven't
either
even played the song yet.
Well, it's either the riff or the rhythm or the cover.
The cover.
photo.
okay, well the cover is already like
A+.
A+. So okay.
So this was I'm reading here as a post here. This was a post at April Fool's, I guess, April 1st here. So on the Jenna Torches page, it was a picture of Jen. That's the singer there.
This is Jen?
This is Jen.
All right.
There's a picture here of her with the origins of our new single, Scars and Stripes Forever, date back to 2003. Here's Jen with Sully Erna from Godsmack. And the original Scars and Stripe t-shirt design. Listen now on all digital platforms. So this is a brand new song. They're on tour. They're playing here locally at the Tipsy Tiki. So I don't know. This is going to be an interesting. I'll have to take a look at it.
What is the date of that show? I would love to see that show.
Yeah, so
hopefully it's not on
yeah.
a weekend or else I'll
Yeah.
miss it.
It's sometime here in the future. Sometime in the future.
Well, thank
but
you for
yeah,
narrowing
yeah.
that down, Paul.
Yeah. So yeah, I know it may be before or after we tape this and post it and all that stuff. So anyway, so we've already
sometime in the future.
we've
This
already-
is not the date you're looking for.
We've already screwed the time continuum here. So in the multiverse, but yeah. So anyway,
Rock on. So
Yeah.
let's listen to the
Yeah.
Jenna Torturers, Scars and Stripes Forever
there you go.
through the lens of, is it the riff, the rhythm, or the picture.
Damn.
Is there even guitar in this?
There it is.
Scars and stars forever.
So what are you guys thinking so far?
Not much riff, so it's kind of the rhythm.
Yeah.
The rhythm,
I'd
but
say.
clearly an attempt to modernize the metal sound with
Yeah.
more of a synthy kind of. But it's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Scars and stars forever. We're pressing the light again. We hold my dreams will never end.
That's the closest thing to a riff so far.
Scars and stars forever. Scars and stars forever. Scars and stars
Wow.
Got a nice voice.
Yeah.
It's not rough at all.
She could scream like
Yeah.
Flyleaf. That's powerful.
I'm afraid to ask, is it a drummer or is it a drum machine?
I don't know.
Sounded great.
It sounded kind of
Production's good?
Very clearly they spent a lot of time in the mix and the
Yeah.
development of that song.
So whoever's drumming on that, at a boy, girl, whoever you are. Great
Yeah,
job.
it's the rhythm. Da, da, da,
Yeah, it's good.
So, but what I was trying to dig into that because again, I'm always trying to say, all right, I don't want to bias always to my side, right? But listening because the guitars really didn't come in until
Yeah.
the chorus, right? You know,
Yeah, they were, well, they had a guitar part, but they were. It was a synth. It could have been a guitar synth. It was definitely a guitar part with a synthesizer sound.
Right.
I like the ups and downs and
Yeah, it
the
was
mood
good.
swings with
Yeah.
all that. Could have been a little bit heavier sounding guitar, but
Yeah, I that's what I think too. But
little
that's coming
deeper.
from the guitar player.
Yeah. Never enough guitar.
It's not like the cowbell, right? So I was almost tempted to say, is like, are we? I didn't think we would be able to go to a rhythm possibly with a metal song, but
I would say rhythm.
yeah,
Throughout the whole song, never changed.
So yeah, very bass and
A
drum.
lot of arrangement techniques,
Yeah.
the little dingy and the synthesizer guitar part, and then the real guitar part came in, and then the syncopation from the rhythm of the lead guitar.
Would we ever think that a metal song being very grooving? Because that almost seemed like it was a very grooving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Pantera
mean? Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That's right.
invented it.
Yeah. What did I call that white person bounce when they're the groove, the rhythm, the music? Just again, it's just you're just feeling it, right? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, awkward.
Yeah, that's it.
So all right. Yeah, I'm gonna go rhythm.
Yeah, rhythm for sure.
All right.
I mean, great vocals, great production,
Yeah.
excellent song. But clearly, it's the rhythm that carries it
Yeah.
through, and what is memorable afterwards.
Devin.
Rhythm for sure.
Rhythm. All right. So we're
Devin's
gonna-
rhythm. Bob, you got
Yeah,
rhythm?
rhythm. Slightly haunting,
Yeah.
But
lot of ups
the
and downs.
scream, those screams.
Her voice is nice and clean. Too.
Yeah, super big.
Yeah, so that was a part of what I was thinking about was with her vocals there. Right? They've been around for, like I said, 30 plus years at least. Is there any sense of any production or what am I looking for? The word I'm looking for is like enhanced in her vocals. To me, it didn't seem like it was.
No.
She still
they
can.
were-
Yeah, sounded young.
They were enhanced, but the 99% of that was coming straight out of her mouth. What do you think, Jim?
I thought it was great.
Nothing wrong with enhancing.
Yeah, I mean, the drums. I'm always listening for the drums. Could have been a little louder, but no, the production was awesome.
So if
You can tell they worked hard on it. It
Is
sounds
it,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah. Clearly,
Yeah.
they spent a lot of time on that mix.
Yeah.
But is it the riff or the rhythm for you?
Well, the rhythm. Yeah.
Okay.
The
Okay.
guitar was more like
Background.
accent
Yeah.
rather than a whole. Like the bass and drums and vocals were like the focal point of that tune,
Yeah.
and the guitar was more like enhancement.
It's-
Here's the chorus.
Right. It's such a
agree.
again the now I'm drawing a blank on what CD that was, but that came out in the early '90s. This is such a different tone than what they came out with back in the day.
Oh, it's
I thought
much
they were
more refined.
hardcore. Or
Yeah,
something
this is
back
far
then.
more refined than.
Yeah, I mean, this could other than some of the heavierness, but I mean, this almost could be a radio play enough song. I mean, the vocals are a little too heavy for radio, but it was
No,
still.
those vocals were mixed light.
Well, you're not definitely hearing. Well, again, we have no real true metal station here in South Florida, right?
Right.
Yeah, let's be fair. We're not here on the Gator or anywhere else, right?
Yeah, that wasn't a pop mix. Those vocals were down behind the rhythm instruments. That was a metal mix.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at here some of their tracks here. So, but anyway, I think I still actually.
But the
have-
Jetta Torturers have been a mainstay in the Florida
Yeah, for sure.
torturing metal scene, whatever it is it's called, for 30 years at least. Very notable for their onstage antics and their what is
Yep.
the word for it? Bodily mutilation
Shock rock and
during
theater.
the show.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I
that's right.
Yes, that was their first
Yeah,
album cover.
yeah,
right there.
1993.
1993.
120 Days of Jetta Torture.
Yes.
I still listen to that every so often. It's like
Yeah.
it's very.
Yeah, great band all along. Doing
This
a
one,
great
this
job.
one, they wrote this one for you, Devin. It's called Jackin' Man.
What's that for me?
I don't know. Just saying.
Is it Jack In Man?
Yeah,
Or
there's-
Jack In Man?
There
Hard to say.
Jack and Man.
depends on what night it is at the club.
Yeah, is it Monday or Friday?
Is it Glory Hole Night?
Is there a glory?
So, all right, so,
So
yeah.
here's a question. Now you are a main like you are a part of the I don't know what the words I'm looking for. you are a notable contributor to the metal scene.
No, what you're
the
looking
80s.
the word you're looking for is a big fucking deal.
You're
okay?
a big fucking deal.
Yeah, okay. Let's just say it.
Yeah, let's just say that. So, thank you. You have an influence on people. You are when they recall the 80s and 90s in rock, your name is going to be included in that. So, what do you see as the biggest change in music since the way you've been doing it until now? The way you're doing it at the beginning.
I think we talked a little bit about that before when we first started. The bands were the same players in the band, and that was it. And now, whether it's because people have to make more money playing with different bands, but you had your one band and that was it. You didn't go with 5 other bands and go out on tour with this band or fill in for that band. It was like your band was your band, and that doesn't. It was a big deal. I remember when Cliff had died because it was like, okay,
Yeah.
well that band's never going to be original anymore. So
Right.
that was kind of a weird thing. And then
And then Jason came in.
Jason, and then he got replaced. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the one thing I noticed. It's I call it laptop metal, and we're a victim of it too because you used to go to a rehearsal spot, and 3-4 nights a week you jammed it out. You worked on songs, you practiced your set list or whatever. Now it's like, oh, could you send me that file of your riff?
Yeah.
And there's people from other states that are in bands. I mean, I couldn't have been farther away from San Francisco down here,
And just
playing with Violence.
yeah.
And that's the biggest change. It's kind of spread out. It's not just your
It's like football.
neighborhood.
Football did the same thing. Used to be you had a team and you stayed with the team. Now, then they had free agency, and it's like it's a trend
Yeah.
across
You
industries.
can't keep up with all the changes.
This is a really good question though, Kevin, because this is something that I was really taken back when I went to Nashville in 2019, end of 2019. I went and did a drum workshop weekend. The drummer from Rascal Flatts, he hosted a drum weekend, and I'm not a country guy, right? Grew up right.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, I know. So yeah, I hear you, right? This is why I'm carefully trying not to lose my metal credit here, right? So again, had grown up, rock guy, metal guy, etc. Not really exposed. And in Jersey, there's no country music at that time exposed to what it is today, right? And the thing that I took away from country music to what you just said there about the guys are, it's a band thing. There's a difference between I see versus rock versus country is
Yeah, country never really had the band thing. The
Yeah.
band thing is the anomaly in country,
right.
and the solo thing is the
But even
anomaly in rock.
But even though Johnny Cash's drummer was with him for 30, 40 years.
By Alabama. They were a band.
Yeah, well, there are the bands. There's a Kentucky Headhunters. There's
Yeah.
Alabama. There's a ton of them, but
Yeah.
they weren't the
It's
mainstay.
session
They were-
guys and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just
right,
going
yeah.
to say studio musicians most of the time back in the day.
So here, right, Bobby. So here I'm, here, this workshop. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, again, all my exposure is rock. Thinking, all right, Rascal Flatts is the biggest country band out there. He's the drummer who's been in that band for 20 plus years. Why is he doing these things? Is it a pay thing? Is he wants to keep busy? And because then I find out, like, yeah, country music, it's the guys that are up front, the songwriters.
Just realize what shirt you're wearing. I almost wore that shirt today.
Good. Oh, good. We could have,
I never heard of those guys. Who are they?
yeah. You've never heard of?
Enough said.
I don't have a shirt. Fuck that guy.
There you go. They're already gone.
Wait, fuck what guy?
The singer.
Who's
Yeah,
that?
what?
Who?
I don't
I
know.
forget. The other guys are okay.
Is that
Singers-
guy, is that the guy in
Singers
Metal
are
Luscious?
right. I
That
don't
Metal
know.
Luscious guy?
Yeah.
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 Fucking beard metal.
Yeah, beard metal. There you go. So anyway, you were talking about something.
Yeah, but so to me, it was just a different change of the structure of music styles, where it's like you could be a musician behind the scenes and not part of the band. Again, I'm just thinking, right, is like a band like Motley Crue, right? There's 4 guys in that band. But when you look at a band like Rascal Flatts, it's 3 guys. The guys up front singing, writing, and so forth. The guys behind the scene, the company in back, they're probably been there forever, but nobody knows who the fuck they are. So I mean, to me, it's a different, like you said, right, Jim? Is like they're studio guys, or session guys, and they're touring guys, and
Yeah,
they
but
gotta
look at, like-
they're paying gigs, right? Because they're keeping busy.
Like the guys in L.A., like Steve Lukather and Jeff Porcaro, the Porcaro brothers, and all those. The guys played on all those records,
Right.
from Michael Jackson and Steely Dan and all those Boz Scaggs. All those guys played on all those records, and then they're like, oh fuck it, let's make our own band, and they do Toto, and then
Right.
I got one for you.
Honestly, if I may comment,
Yeah.
there's a couple of things going on with this conversation. I feel as though the solo artist has been the mainstay throughout all time. Because if you think about before, like millions of years before rock, before electricity, you had a composer and he would hire the orchestra. Like there ain't 40 people writing the music, but there's 40 people in the orchestra, right? So you had that thing, and bands are kind of the anomaly in musical history, because you wouldn't believe this, but musicians are a bunch of weird, egotistical freaks.
I've never heard that or experienced any of that.
I know most
You
people
have to be.
Most people don't understand this, but it actually happens in deep pockets of the universe. So the solo project, the creator with the hired hands, is really, in my opinion, when you look at musical history as a whole, that's the norm. And then bands come and buck that norm, and have like from the 60s until now, have been doing it more ever than ever in human history.
Country's usually about the singer,
The artist, yeah.
and the band is always like just backup. And it's even if you've been, like you said, with someone for 25, 30 years, you'd never really know who the drummer's name is unless he started in something before, and he's got a bit of a name. But country's like, it's weird because metal is like you've got your 4 or 5 guys in the band when that band starts, and you know all the names, and you just get attracted to the band because you like the music and the players, and you don't want that to change. But with country, you could revolve anyone behind that singer,
Yeah.
and
I
it
think
really
metal,
doesn't matter.
I think metal is more of a mutually creative process, and that makes the band integral to the sound.
Yeah, like look at Cliff. I mean, they were never the same since
never.
Cliff is gone, and that each component in the band has its its value. When you change that, especially with metal,
Have you ever met Cliff?
yeah, we played very early on. We did a show January of like '84.
Wow.
There's like only a couple shows under our belt, and then we opened up for Metallica in upstate New York. We did a show with them, and then I think maybe the next time I seen them, they were like on Ozzy. I may have met them somewhere in between there. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. But yeah, I remember them getting the Ozzy tour, and then not too far after that, I think is when he died in Europe. And then Jason's first show was the Capitol Theater in Jersey, and then I went to that. I saw him there. But yeah, you got someone who's either a strong personality or is directing the band musically. When that's gone, he was the core of the harmonies and the brain and everything else. When he was gone, they changed.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very, very bass centric. The first couple albums, right? Yeah.
I think he was probably more studied than that. He showed James a lot of like how to do with harmonies and stuff like that. He really brought a total different element, even from the guitar. I think he helped him get through some of the stuff, some of the parts. He was really good at that.
So do you think then? So I know there's always we all know the story of like how Jason got a pretty rough deal coming into again a very stepping into the shoes of a beloved of the original member and all these things, and we've heard the stories about how much he was hazed by James and Lars and so forth, but but they were two different styles of bass players too, right? Is how much that change happened where, now you're the new guy, and then, maybe James and Large kind of had more of a control over a lot of that sound, whereas previously Cliff had a little bit more involvement, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to
I would
that
say
first
that.
album. You listen to that first album, Kill 'Em All. I mean, geez, it's you can tell the bass is all over the place in that song, and very bass forward and a lot of stuff too. Yeah. So, very cool. Metal up your ass, Jade, right?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar.
That's why you're talking earlier about. We were talking earlier about some place earlier is don't sit down on the toilet, right? Because you might get
Right.
Yeah, even guys don't sit down on the toilet in some
'cause
public
That's right. You
bathrooms.
get metal up your ass or herpes.
It's true.
Well, now you know.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's right. So I know we got to, I know we talked last show about some road stories here, but do you guys have some MVP, somebody you want to recognize somebody you want to kind of give a little kudos or a little thanks or recognition, who wants to go first? A good one? Yeah. You want to thank each other?
Thanks, man.
So an MVP is somebody who has helped you find direction, inspired you in your career, made a difference for you somehow musically.
I'll call out our buddy and bandmate Mike Rivera. He's an amazing guitar player, amazing singer. He plays with Made of Metal. He plays with Nico. He plays with Joey. Now I recruited him to fill in with Metalicious while our guitar player Scott recuperates from his accident, and he could play Slayer to Striper and everything in between. He's that good, and he's got his shit together. So he's our MVP. He's my MVP.
All right, very cool.
Attaboy, Mike.
All right, there you go, Mike. So
I'd say him,
Yeah,
because
okay.
I've played with him longer than anybody.
cool.
You know,
Yeah. So
20 plus years.
yeah. And how long you been in South Florida though? Yeah.
96, I moved down.
Okay. All right. So
We didn't start playing
Probably
in
2000, 2002 or 3 or ish. 1, 2, or I don't know.
probably like 2002-ish or something when I met Mark. And Jim actually wasn't even in the band. He used to practice
Yeah, we had a
in the
warehouse.
bay behind us.
Behind.
And then we just kind of like
We'd practice and then
hang out,
hang out and
drink,
jam some metal tunes and
jam shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we didn't really have a great drummer in the first band, and then Jim came in. We had a good run. I mean, we played a lot of shows. We played all over Florida, but we always kept saying it's like, I wish we would have had Facebook and stuff back then. 'Cause
Yeah.
it really would have helped. I mean, you're so isolated down here
Yeah.
that you couldn't really branch out far enough, and it just kind of.
The metal scene is so tough in South Florida. Right?
It is. There's not a lot of places to play, and you gotta play the weekends. You gotta get people to come out, and we had a good momentum. We had a good club in Lake Park. The Kelsey Club
Yeah.
was doing great.
Yeah.
and we played there a lot, and it was packed. But then once that closed, I think a lot of things kind of changed after that.
Yeah.
There really wasn't anywhere else to go.
Well, we were talking about when Russ was on the show and that's how you met Russ was at the Mojo Room, right?
The Mojo Room,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
That's where I met you.
Yep.
So
Best day of his life.
yeah.
And Russ too. You guys are welcome.
Oh my God.
But there was a lot of bands that come through. I mean, Kelsey Club, and they were bringing some good
Yeah.
touring whatever
a lot of great
circuit
shows.
you
Yeah,
call it.
yeah.
Yeah, bands that come through there, and it's unfortunate.
Spanky's, that's gone.
Oh my
We
gosh,
used to play
yeah.
there
Wow, yeah, I remember that place.
downtown.
Yeah, the 500 block of Clematis. There was Spanky's. There
Oh,
was
jeez.
Ray's Blues. There
Oh,
was
yeah.
Respectables is still there.
Respectables, which is still there.
Respectables is
Yeah.
Is
still there,
Respectable
yeah.
still there? Because I know
think
there's some
so.
redevelopment going on there.
Yeah, they're there, but they don't. I don't know how much they don't do
Yeah.
bands much. Occasionally, but
Yeah.
Yeah, occasionally.
I don't think that's really a place that you can go see a band. Oh, let's go see like the Kelsey Club. We used to be if we weren't playing after practice, let's go to the
we'd
Kelsey.
go.
Someone
Yeah.
would be
Hang
playing,
out. Yeah.
and we'd hang out, and,
Right.
check out bands. And,
Yeah, because I remember.
That spot is currently empty and for rent.
yeah.
the Kelsey Club.
After your British tour, maybe you have some cash to you get
Yeah, open it
some
back.
British pounds. You can
No
Yeah,
doubt.
hey,
Yeah, what's that conversion rate?
No doubt I'll make a ton of money
McLoughlin.
on my first tour in the UK.
We'll play your opening night.
All right,
There
rock
you go.
on.
Yeah, that's a huge venue. I mean, great size and everything.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that is somebody, but the same guy that owns the whole strip, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
I think it was a lady who had that.
Oh, yeah,
place.
'cause it-
Well, I have an
I think
affinity
it was-
for that room because I worked for Music Mart, and that was the original Music Mart location, 700 Park Avenue.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because it was
It was
She
smaller.
owned. There's an art gallery connected to it also.
The
Yeah.
Kelsey and the art gallery,
Yes.
that was originally
Right.
all of Music
Yes.
Mart.
That's right.
But I think the neighbors were complaining about the noise.
And there was a church
something.
/ daycare across the street, so they were running into issues about it being a nightclub or a bar within a certain
Yeah,
amount.
no
of
doubt there
school.
were drummers outside being visible in front of the daycare.
Puking in church.
Wasn't
again.
me. I never went over to that school.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Go to church the next morning. The hair of the dog, right? Hit that wine.
That's right.
But yeah, but I heard that they've done a little bit of renovation going on because there's more parking behind. Because that's always been
Yeah.
the problem is parking over there too. So,
Those small-
yeah. So, but the brewery's over there. So, the hell's the name of it now? Anyway, so there's still a venue in there that does a lot of little music.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah, the art gallery.
yeah.
What's it called? You just mentioned the name.
Yeah, I know. So
Moments
the,
ago, he said it. Now I can't
the brew
remember.
house. The brew house.
Yes,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so yeah, it's a lot of great places back in the day here, and place to see even out there out in Royal Palm. What am I trying to like Connolly's?
Yeah, Connolly's.
Because
Metalicious, we
Yeah.
played there
Still
in
around.
January.
yeah,
It was awesome.
very 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 cool. So, yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff. We got a lot of
There's a ton of stuff.
Yeah,
Like we could go
I
on
know,
and
I
on
know.
forever.
Yeah,
Like,
jeez.
We reviewed the Jenna Torturers.
Mm-hmm,
We've talked about the Palm Beach metal scene. There's more to talk about.
Yeah, no, I know. So
So
I know.
much more.
Yeah. So again, original music you guys are working on. Let's just come back to that right there
Yeah.
because this is what this whole show is about: original music, Florida music. So again, so you're working on some new stuff, practicing new material, working a couple different folks that you're looking for, to fill in some of the parts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
yeah.
we have the second guitar player is Dave Orman from Nasty Savage, and he's actually coming down this weekend. But yeah, we worked through 5 songs. I got a bunch written, and we worked through the 5. Jim put drums to them, so we're trying to mix that together so we have something to send out to
Right.
hopefully nail down a singer, and then at least either go straight into doing an album or do a couple of shows out and just play the material, see how it fits in a live situation, and then just pick and choose the songs and just nail something down and go for it. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
while you're trying to put it together, you're writing songs. So tons of songs and riffs to pick from. So there's definitely enough for us to do whatever. But
So, Bobby, so when you were talking about writing songs, are you talking about music and lyrics, or
yeah, I have both. It's a couple of newer songs which I haven't even worried about writing lyrics to yet. But yeah, I'll do both. I'll run through the whole song. It's about 99% done, but by the time I present it to anybody, and then it'll be good now because we could pick and choose. There wasn't ever too many leftover songs before, but now we've got a lot to pick from, and especially if it's going to be a first CD, new band, you want it to be a knockout, So that's what we're going to try and do: pick all A-list, every song, just the best it could
the
be.
bangers?
Yeah.
So what is your process like? Do you record demos at home and then go into the studio, or do you just do high quality demos and then turn them into the record?
It's been different each time. I mean, I have a little Zoom recorder that's quick and easy, and I'll just put all the riffs on it so I can keep erasing and going over stuff. And then when it gets to a point where it's a full song, we're probably going to try and do this now, which is like, if I get a song done, let's learn that song. instead of like throwing 10 songs at Jim, and it's like, we got to take notes, and he's got to remember all the changes and shit. So, but once that's done, we'll see. I mean, we never went straight into playing out live.
Yeah,
we've always
done the studio first.
Did the songs and went into the studio, the power station down in.
Paul down there, he's the bomb.
Yeah,
Paul. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
We
Paul
try to.
Kronk.
Yeah.
Love you, Paul. They got the best console in the universe down there.
Yep.
The Neve 9098.
Yeah.
It is a huge machine with a hopper where you pour shit in one end and then gold rolls out the other.
Is that
That's
how it
what that
works?
console does. Yeah.
My drums sound good in that room. I give him that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we.
So we have we did our festival last year. Again, everyone who's been part of the show here, whether that's a review or been sitting on the couch. So hopefully we do a festival in the fall. I think that's our
We got to have you on the
plan.
festival.
I need a
Yeah.
big drum riser.
And a spotlight.
I'm not putting my drums on the floor. We need a drum riser.
Well,
I mean, riffs and rhythm. I mean, you have a drum riser. I mean,
Riffs
obviously.
and rhythms on the same plane.
Okay.
We'll put the guitars on a riser. How's that?
No one wants to see that.
Yes, they do.
Okay, if I can't have a riser, I want pyro. I need one of the two. I mean, you pick.
But
And we like fire. It says you see it right there.
I know.
Okay,
That's
you
also-
know how much we love fire.
Tracy, how's our insurance on that?
It's
On the
just-
festival, how did we have to up it? Do we have to up our fee for this?
We'll work it out in the
thumbs down it.
sponsorship.
Yeah,
We'll get a fire suppression company as a sponsor,
Cool.
and we'll be able to light everything
All right.
on fire.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, we'll be there.
Smokey,
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, Smokey. Only you can prevent concert fires.
But
We're not going to burn anyone, just a drummer. I'll be okay with it.
Or only you can prevent
Drummer
club,
fires.
club fires in Massachusetts. Up
Yep.
too soon again in about Great White. So yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, before you light that on, wait.
Listen, I saw, speaking of fire or fire suppression, I saw Motorhead. Mickey D's doing his drum solo, and we're standing on the side of the stage, and he had two roadies come at the end, and they were both kind of crouched out behind the drum riser. At the end, they pull the fire extinguisher, so it shot straight up in the air. How badass is that? It's economical. Every venue's going to have a fire extinguisher, and it looks badass, and it's cheap. So, Mickey D, attaboy.
All right. So that's all you want is fire extinguishers now?
Well, no, I want fire.
Well, the insurance people like that better because instead of blowing fire all over everything, we're blowing fire extinguishers
Yeah,
all over
That's right.
everything.
Yeah. So you said you were almost on the America's Funny video. So maybe this time we'll light you on fire, and then we can do the extinguishers.
I can't use my drums. All I need them. We'll use someone else's drums.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We did provide drums, right? Well, there's a back line.
You're a drummer. We'll use your drummer. We just use his drum set.
Yeah, he
we'll,
likes it when you set his shit on
We'll set
fire.
that on fire. Who's your drummer?
Yeah.
Mike Lachavo.
I don't know that I know him.
He doesn't even like people touching his drums, not even himself. He just didn't even
Mike,
hit
we're
him.
setting your drums on fire.
He doesn't even like showing up on time.
No,
He doesn't even like going to England.
he doesn't.
Sorry.
He doesn't
Yeah.
like anything, not even hearing the band. That's why I bought him some special shirts.
He doesn't even like Kevin, I think.
We'll get some drums.
No,
set
it's
them on
clear
fire.
he doesn't. He loves me just as much as I pay him to.
Oh man! So yes, so this is a super cool episode here. Right? Talking again, going way back in some of the memories here, talking about the '90s and metal and Headbangers Ball recently, and all sorts of stuff. And
So I have a question. If you had, if there was one thing you would want to be remembered for, what would it be, Bob?
Just good songs, songwriter.
Yeah. How about you, Jim?
Oh, yeah, good drummer.
All right.
Could play drums and could hang because you got to do both. I mean, for real. If someone's a great player but they're a douche, then I'd rather play with someone who maybe wasn't as good but could hang. Especially if you have to travel with people. You can't travel with people who are,
Douchey.
Douchey.
douche. No douche.
No douche. We're not going to go to Germany and get wax-covered bags.
Douchebags.
I think Jim, that's really interesting because I always am very fascinated about Def Leppard when it came to Rick Allen. losing his arm, right? And they stuck by him
For sure.
and they made it work, and they figured it out. And again, it was like they had his back. They were because again, I know they went back when they were kids and they came up all together.
Yeah.
And could have they have just dropped?
Yeah, they
them
were
and-
16 when their first album came out.
Yeah. So could they have dropped and moved on? Sure, right?
Yeah, but they would have been the douchey ones.
Yeah. So I mean, that's it goes. I
Because
think,
it's got to be. It's about guys that you like. Even after Steve Clark passed, I've seen a couple of interviews. Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden was up for the gig, and they were all friends. And it came down to Vivian Campbell being pals with Joe Elliott, and
yeah,
being able to hang. Like, I like this guy. I could.
he's cool to be around.
I
Right,
could do 100 shows with him next
Yeah.
year.
If
And
I'm
not,
trapped in a bus with this
Yeah.
guy, will I
Yeah.
let him live? Yeah, there's a lot to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that goes a long way, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely it does.
So, I mean, look, I think if somebody's going to continually try to get better and better and better as you're going through it, yeah, for sure, right? But yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. One last thing before we go is I definitely want to come back to. I posted something recently about the 1991, and we talked in the last episode about how that transition from the 80s to late 80s to 90s, and then grunge happened. Saw the Clash of the Titans tour in Madison Square Garden in 1991.
I was there.
Crazy show. And remember people were ripping the seat cushions out when Slayer came on, and it was mayhem. But that was an amazing show, right? So Megadeth, Slayer. Well, again, you were there, and
Alice in Chains.
yeah,
Was that when they opened?
and I remember Alice in Chains because I was interested in seeing them because they started to have some MTV rotation, and a lot of the people that had shown up didn't know who they were, didn't like them because that was a very odd opener band for the other three. You know what I mean?
I think talking to Mike, our
Death
friend,
Angel.
it was supposed to be Death Angel, and they had that accident,
Okay.
had a tour
on
bus
tour.
accident, yeah.
Okay.
and I think they got replaced by Alice in Chains.
Last minute, yeah.
But that's an odd. But isn't that considered? Wouldn't you think it's an odd opener?
I read somewhere where Dave Ellefson and someone maybe saw them playing somewhere, and they were like blown away. They're like, "Oh, we got to have this band open for
Yeah.
that," and they did, yeah. But they were on that first album. That first album it's pretty heavy. I think it had more of that grunge Seattle stigma to it because I didn't like them right away. I wound up liking them like years later, like closer to '94 almost.
Oh wow.
And then I fell in love with them, and they're like
Right.
one of my favorite bands now.
Yeah, because I've seen them a couple now. I've seen them a couple times with the newer lineup, right? Because there's really only two original members now, really. Sean and Jerry in the band. So, but I tell people, I saw the original Alice Chains. I saw
So Alice was there?
yes, Alice from the Brady Bunch.
Wow.
I did too. I saw
Yeah.
them with, I want to say,
Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Yeah,
Van
that's
Halen.
another one. Yeah, so and it's like another band. So I saw original Pantera open for Skid Row. People can't believe
saw
that.
that.
I'm like, well, Skid Row was the big band at the time, and they were just starting to come up. Now it's almost like right,
Funny
they
story.
were like, wait, Pantera opened for what? Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Did you see the Giant Stadium show out in the parking lot?
No.
Okay.
No, I saw that that Pantera Skid Row show was in Orlando at like the indoor soccer arena somewhere out there. Yeah.
Like me and my friends went up to Worcester, Mass, and saw them up there, and wound up hanging out with Daryl. We went back to his hotel room, and he had his little 4-track with him, and I think what was that Ice-T song? Was
Cop Killer.
no. Oh, there was some. There Goes the Neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we did this whole parody of There Goes the Neighborhood, sitting there playing guitar and singing it, just having a blast. The next time they played, they were at the parking lot of Giant Stadium, and they set up. And Pantera had finished. They had some tent off to the side, and Daryl's feeding me shots of tequila. And then he's like, "We have to go up on stage now. We got to sing background vocals." So he drags me up on stage with him. Behind the drummer, there's this walkway above him with mics up there and 2 stairs on each side to get up there. We go up there, and then we just realize we're up so high, we're holding each other for dear life because we were both wobbling. We thought we were going to fall off. And I was like, that night wound up being a blur. I remember throwing up on the way home. People go, white trash, white trash. I got so sick. I just felt like crap the next day. But I was sober enough to remember like doing that. Yeah.
That's
That
awesome.
was crazy.
Those
Yeah.
guys could drink,
Trying
right?
not to fall
Yeah.
off the stage set with Daryl.
Yeah. It was like you had the stage and then you had another thing. And
So who are you
it's
singing backups
moving.
for?
Skid Row, whatever
Skid Row.
song. Yeah, he dragged me up there doing Skid Row. And I'm like,
Yeah.
people must
Come
have been
on.
like, who the fuck are these
Come on.
two idiots?
He's doing background vocals. I remember you.
I remember just enough. But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And then where else we saw them? We saw them with Anthrax at the TP. And then we followed them up to Orlando, and we saw them up in Orlando again.
That's
Might have been the last time I seen them.
So, what's your thoughts about the new incarnation of the Pantera? Any comments?
I love it. I mean,
I mean, Zach.
it's not the
I mean, it's
same. And Zach is always very careful to call it a celebration, which I dig
respect
that.
Yeah.
And Zach was Dime was a huge Zach fan. If someone would have told him, listen, Zach Wilde's going to play the songs you fucking wrote, he'd be like, fuck yeah. I mean, I get the stigma attached to it, but I saw it. It was great. I mean, I loved seeing those songs get played again. I mean, I saw them, the Button South, so it's awesome to see them doing it. And for a bunch of younger fans who've never seen it, never thought they were going to see it, I think it's cool.
So it's a good.
I think
across
Zach
as
is doing it justice.
Yeah, that's what.
100%.
Yeah.
And again, they're buddies. He's not like, I need a payday.
Yeah.
He's doing it because
exactly.
it's his
'Cause
buddy.
he loves it, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't have any problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah. Zach, a Jersey guy, right?
Yeah, Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I think it's, who are we to tell a band that, or a musician that you can't make music anymore, or you can't make money anymore? What are you going to do? You're going to go work at Walmart? It's like, you're the singer, you're the bass player from the original band.
Yeah.
You make music, you're a musician. You were there when these songs were written and recorded. So, and you couldn't have got two better people to play the parts. So, yeah, more power to them. I mean,
So this is again. So you said celebration, Jim, and then we'll start wrapping up here. So I know this is really it's because Pantera means a lot to a lot of people, right? The brothers and everything is.
I know what you're going to ask about new material.
No, not new material, but so. It's the 50% of the band is there.
Yeah.
Is it a tribute band or is it a?
I mean, how many people have passed away and the band carries on? It's they call it a celebration.
Yeah.
They're very tasteful in the way that they honor the brothers. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, as long as they admit that they're doing justice to the originals and don't act like they are the originals, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
and plus, it's not like the other two guys in the band. It's their only gig.
Yeah.
Charlie's going back to Anthrax, and Zach has his own career.
Yeah.
So just that alone will tell you that it's a tribute.
As a drummer, I mean, Charlie, you can tell he painstakingly went over these songs with a fine-tooth comb because he did a Drumeo episode where he talked about, and played some of the songs.
How Vinny was.
The guy was always amazing drummer. He's even more amazing, I think, in my eyes now, just because,
Who, Charlie or Vinny?
Charlie. Well, Vinny's amazing. But
yeah.
Charlie, because he's paying tribute to his buddy, and he wants it to be good. And he plays those songs pretty fucking note perfect. I mean, we like to add our own little things as drummers, and I'm sure Zach does too. But they're honoring their friends, and I've seen it. It's fucking great, and I would see it again when they come down in September. I will fucking be there.
Okay, yeah, all right. Maybe we've got to check that out. Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen the new incarnation of it
good,
yet.
Yeah,
So
it's worth it.
So No, I know Rockville's coming up soon or some point. So I don't know because I know they played a year or two ago in Rockville.
The tour ends here in September.
Hopefully
Okay.
they'll play on it like a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Coral Sky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Whatever it's called now. Yeah.
All right.
We'll get them on. We'll get them on the podcast, right? Sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
They've been waiting for us to call. So
So so this has been a super cool episode. Appreciate you guys coming on. Anything you guys want to kind of give a shout out there? Any more? Things that you want to check out.
what are you promoting for for May now?
May. Yeah,
You got
they're coming up.
gigs?
Yeah, I got a couple of Made of Metal shows. Mount Dora is the next for doing our Cinderella tribute. I think that's all I got. Maybe I'm.
So you're playing in Mount Dora. Where are you playing?
I play the drums, man. I show up where they tell me to.
I'm sorry.
I want to say it's the Mount
Theater?
Dora Music Hall.
Place. The Mount Dora place where bands play.
Mount Dora Square Gardens, Mount Dora Donington. Donington?
Mount Doratorium.
It's Mount Dora Palooza.
Normie Dome.
How many places can there be a Mount Dora? That I mean,
Mount Dora.
I'm gonna bring my bike. There's an awesome bike trail.
That is a metal
Yeah.
attitude.
But I will say,
antiquing.
I have been to Mount Dora, not playing, but it is a super fun town, and I'm very excited to play there.
Yeah.
And I hope Mount Dora Coliseum Sportatorium is ready for my huge drum kit.
So who is this Dora that you're going to mount?
Listen, she's
It's Dora. It's
The
Explorer.
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 Oh, wait, that's a little weird.
Oh
now.
baby.
Do not come.
Okay.
Well-
Devin's waiting the whole show to kind of drop that one.
Yeah, if you're local and you're looking for a gig, bass or vocals, hit us up on the socials. We're there.
Cool.
All right, chance
Get
to
this
play.
band together.
Bobby Gustafson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, this is fucking awesome, man.
So yeah, so cool to have you on and to get to know
Thanks,
you.
man, yeah.
You know, I've listened to your music for a couple
Weeks.
of decades now.
For days.
Days, hours.
I've been
It's
cramming
so
for this
good
episode.
so good to get to know you.
Same here, man.
And Jim, I've known you for
Yep.
a good long time
Long
as well. And I've always admired your playing.
Thank you.
You've certainly worn the spandex well enough.
Listen, I might not be able to play good, but I look good in spandex. So there's that.
That's why he's hired.
The reason why you look good in spandex is because there's a drum set blocking everything.
That's true.
Yeah. But anyway, it's always been a pleasure.
Same.
Yeah, with all respect. And Paul,
Yeah. No.
should we unveil the?
Yes. So I want to thank you, Jim, for
You're very welcome.
Yes, for the titanium poster here. They're
Better frame it. Put it under your pillow.
That's right. I'm going to sleep with
That's
it.
right.
Yeah, and my wife will get upset and say, "Well, who's this?" But yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you for the autographed here.
You're very
right.
welcome.
Yeah. So
Laminate that thing first before you get it all sticky.
But yeah, maybe someday we can get him on the.
Listen, I know people. I'll tell them you guys are mostly all right.
So
Maybe he'll come hang out with you.
we don't pass the
Fair enough.
we passed the pedo test, all right? But yeah, for sure. I've had some folks on as co-host on the Drums and Rum show, so maybe that's something that you and I can do an individual
sure.
show with him and kind of keep it comfortable.
We won't have to talk. We just set him free and he'll talk.
So this turns into multiple episode show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is not a stepping stone. Like, dude, it's great to have you on.
Yeah.
Dude, it's great to be here.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming in and
Of
spending
course,
time
man.
with us. And
Love it.
y'all are truly icons on the South Florida music
I don't know
industry.
about that. Listen, I don't have a Moment of Violence T-shirt. I'm not that much of an icon.
Do you want mine? Do you want me to take
no,
mine
it's
off?
okay. No, I just want to bitch. And Russ, don't show up with one. I want to bitch about it.
Clearly, there's no animosity about the subject.
No,
it's
that's
a good
cool.
thing you're at peace with it.
That's cool. I gave all those guys Metallica shirts, all of them.
Oh my!
No, I totally did not. I'm fucking lying. I did not, but now I'm really not gonna.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
You got to show up to the show.
I got them on the last the Titanium show at Piper's. I got them on that gig. They opened. Still didn't get a shirt.
What?
I know, right?
Come on.
Whatever.
How do we get we got our shirts at the when they came with Dez and Russ had come on the show because I know
All
they
right,
were
Des. I know you got them
Yeah.
piled up in the
Yeah.
closet. Give one to Jim.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bypass Russ. Dez. I want my
Yeah,
shirt.
Russ
there
ain't
you go.
gonna do
Yeah.
it because he don't have none.
But quick shout out there. So they're really killing it.
Moan Violence?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're really good.
yeah. So I mean, they're putting out a lot of videos there, and
And they do work. Does a lot of hard work.
yeah. So
Yeah, no question.
yeah,
For getting all their production and all that stuff done too. I mean, never mind the playing, which is really good also, but the production that they work on those songs. Russ will send me shit, and I'm like, it's really good.
yeah. So it's great to see. Great, yeah. I'm really excited to meet some of the artists here in South Florida, Florida in
Yeah.
general, and see where it's like, holy shit, these guys. Remember
the
when they
the
were
Florida
when were they-
music scene is a great one, and here's why. And you'll probably have a better perspective on this than most of us. Is Florida is like the dangling penis of the United States, and when you're booking a tour for national acts, it's out of the way.
Nobody wants to go to the tip. Is that what you're saying?
People,
Got to work your way down.
Yeah.
not everybody comes to Florida when you're a national touring act. So, in response, the Florida local scene has like kind of muscled up a little bit, even though at some points it's kind of weak. It's better than it would be if we had a steady stream of amazing acts coming through every week.
Or you gotta do some Kegels.
Right? Am I? I think I'm right. So tell me
We just need
what you think
we
about
need a
that.
good bar. We need a good place. Need a good venue. Miami used to have Cameo Theater, and that was worth coming all the way down here 4 years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of the bands they'll go Orlando, Tampa, and back up because they can just get out of here quickly. But yeah, we need a solid bar. I mean, there is Piper's, but we need a solid bar in West Palm or
That'll handle a national act.
Yeah, something like a medium-sized, decent venue, not like a little strip mall
So
place.
Well, like Revolution Live. How about that? That's not.
That's great, but I think that might be getting torn
That
down.
hasn't
at
really
some
pulled
point. I think they
in
might-
the
No,
big acts.
So Revolution. What's the Revolution?
Well, they're a Live Nation venue, so it's their capacity is 999, so it's a medium-sized club, and they're not really, and they do, hats off to them because they'll do local tribute acts and that kind of stuff. I'm not sure that they're really making any room for original music, but it's hard,
and the culture's good, but it's not open all the time.
Yeah, Culture
It's
Room opens
specialty
up
shows, and then there's
yeah.
there's some hard viewing if you're not right in front of the stage there. So
Yeah.
that could be a better club, but it's just not there yet.
I remember seeing Fear Factory there. Because that's the one with the little Irish bar right next to it, right?
Yeah, there's an
Yeah.
Irish bar in that parking
So
lot.
we remember
Used to be called the Wayward Sailor. I don't know what it's called. It's not the same,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
the same. Just not the same.
I remember a buddy of mine was like, "Hey, I want to go see Fear Factory." So I went with him and I said, "All right." I said, "Well, you drive so I can drink, right? If you want me to go, you're And we went down there and hung out, ate something at the Irish place. Then went in to see the show.
Oh, I love it there.
And we were up top watching the show.
Yeah.
And then it was like one of those afterwards.
Love playing there. Love seeing gigs there. But yeah, the stage is a little high. But it's
Yeah.
I mean, it's an awesome club because you have 600 700 people.
Yeah.
So you can get some of the other acts maybe that aren't going to come do an arena, but they'll still come to your town.
Well, I guess other than the amphitheaters, right? And that's the thing, Pompano or West Palm, et cetera, is that's his. But there's not metal very well. I guess there's some ish shows. Where's the bake sale? Can we bring the bake sale back?
Got nowhere to do it, but yeah. And what bands are around anymore? But yeah, I mean, listen,
right,
it was
yeah.
good times for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, cool. Yeah, I think we're gonna hang out a little bit more after we wrap up here, and
I'm down.
yeah, for sure. So, guys, thank you for coming on. Like I said, we had a great time here.
Thanks for
Like I
having
said,
us.
thank you. Yeah, so thank you guys. And thank you, Jim. For
Of course.
connecting this all up.
Real pleasure.
The poster here with Nico's John Hancock there.
Yep.
Yeah. So
For sure.
Herbie.
that's right. Don't
It's
touch
original.
my poster. The drum thing. Leave it alone.
Hancock.
Get your own shit.
I'll get you Kevin. I'll get you a Bobby Gustafson autographed Satan's Taint albumy thingy.
That would be cool. You mean like CD art, but really big?
He'll autograph your tit right there.
You can sign the underside of my pocket sleeve.
So, all right. So yeah. So we're wrap this up.
Are you trying to stop this thing? All right. Well, hey, everybody. This is the Riffs and
Rhythms podcast.
My name is Kevin McLoughlin.
And I'm Paul Robertson. And this has been a rockin' metal show here tonight.
Fuck yes.
So is it this way, that way, Dio? I don't know. Which way is it? Oh, is two hands more than metal?
Yeah. Too much metal for one hand.
Yeah. Is that the backslash and the front slash, right? And the M in the middle. The emoji.
Dio hears us, however we do it.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So again, check out all of our stuff here. YouTube, like, subscribe, listen to us on the audio channels there, Apple, Spotify, etc. Check out Kevin McLaughlin's page there. So go and support him for his tour. Throw him a couple bucks so he can buy
I can
a beer.
get a plane ride back. I haven't paid for that yet.
That's right. Yeah. So because we know,
although maybe you don't want me to come back.
I don't know. He may bail or whatever it is in the UK. There, he might end up
disempatriate myself.
That's right.
That sounds a lot more fun than I thought it would.
Yeah.
So check out all the cool stuff here in the B3 Podcast Network for where you get all your stuff here, jams and cocktails, drums and rums. Eventually come back in the Riffs and Rhythms Podcast. Ghost in the Aux here. Thanks to Devin here for holding down the sound for us tonight there.
I'm going to come.
Okay, sure. You do keep that to yourself and then...
clean up afterwards, please.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll get the mop guy in the... in the Jack Shack. So...
You don't need a mop.
Yeah, we'll get you a ShamWow.
Oh, my, yeah.
We'll get you a ShamWow. Yeah, ShamWow.
Vince's ShamWows will get you going where you want to go.
All right, so are we ending this show again with very
We are
little?
ending this show. I still got some left, you lush.
Yeah, so come on,
right,
drink up, bitch.
What do you want to pour?
Oh, now he's getting
Come
all.
on
Now
now.
he's getting all.
I'll show you what a bitch is like.
Doesn't sound too good.
All right, so here's one more episode under the wraps. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
For
guys.
being
Thanks,
awesome.
guys. Yeah, cool.
Everybody. Here's a toast to we're finished.